Now let us learn about various types of bank accounts that you can have. First one, savings bank account. Second, current account. Third one, recurring deposit account. Fourth one, term or fixed deposit account. From exam point of view, name the 4 types of bank accounts. Very, very important. Let us learn every single one of them in detail. Savings bank account. It is generally opened by us customers or individuals. Mostly they have a fixed or regular income like a monthly salary. This facility is given to everyone, students, salaried employees, government employees, pensioners, etc. Saving accounts are opened to encourage people to save their money and make a pool and keep it in the bank. Do you all have a savings account? If not, you should have one. Go to the bank and open a savings account. Next, there is no restriction. Do you think there are rules that you can only put this much or withdraw this much in a savings account? No, there are no such restrictions on the number and the amount of deposits. The money can be withdrawn how? Through check or through a withdrawal slip available where? In the respective or in whichever bank you have an account in. You must go open a bank account and experience this for yourself. Next, let's learn about a current account. When a company, a private limited company, a partnership company, or your shop, it could be grocery shop, it could be meat shop, when they want to have a bank account, it is called current account. It is opened by businessmen who have large number of regular transactions with the bank. They allow deposits, withdrawals and contra transactions. What is the meaning of contra transactions? Let's say in your business you have a cash of 50,000 rupees and in the bank account you have 25,000 rupees. When the exchange takes place between the cash and the bank account, the transaction is called contra entry. In current account as well, amount can be deposited or withdrawn any number of times in a day. Do banks give interest on the amount in a current account? No, they don't. But they do collect service charges or bank charges on current account which they didn't in savings account. Next, let's learn about recurring deposit account. Let's say you want to deposit money on the 10th of every month in the account. So at the 10th of every month, you will go and deposit a particular amount, let's say 5,000 rupees. And at the end of a certain time, let's say 1 year, 2 year, whatever the time you choose, the bank will give you the amount you have deposited along with an interest. It is a very good scheme when you want to develop the habit of saving for yourself. So these deposit accounts are generally opened for a purpose to be saved for a future date. Let's say you want to become a doctor and you want to start saving for it. So you will go to the bank from the time you're 15-year-old and you will keep depositing 5,000 every month. And at the time of your graduation, you will have a big lump sum to withdraw. It's a very good scheme if you think about it. For future requirements, deposits are made regularly on a monthly basis. It could be for the purpose of wedding of child or to buy items like land, car, but even for higher education. After the period is over, the total amount the bank repays you with interest. Next, let's learn about term or fixed deposit. If you feel it is a lot of trouble to go to the bank every month and deposit 5,000, you can also deposit a large amount. Let's say you have 1 lakh rupees and you want to keep it in the bank and collect it after 1 year. That is called term or fixed deposit. So after 1 year, the bank repays you 1 lakh rupees with some interest. This type of account is opened for a fixed period by depositing a particular single sum of money at one time. You don't go every month. At one time, you have given this money. The deposit amount cannot be withdrawn before the expiry of the term. The rate, how much rate of interest you will get? Well, that depends upon the term. The longer you keep the deposit, the more the interest you will receive. So we finished learning the 4 types of bank accounts. Let's now understand what is the procedure to open a bank account. Since banks have emerged as very, very important financial institutions and they give us so much ease in carrying out transactions, let us now learn what are the steps or what is the process for one to open bank account. Do you think it's tough? Have you ever visited a bank? It is a very simple and easy process. Let's learn about it. Step 1. You need to first decide which type of account you want to open from the 4 types of accounts I just taught you. So since there are several types, you need to decide which one you want. After that, you have to approach the bank of your choice and meet its office. What would you do by visiting the bank? You will go and express your wish to the officer in the bank about opening an account of your choice. Then the bank officer will give you a form and will also give you instructions on filling the form. Third, after you receive the form, you have to fill up the bank account form, also called the proposal form. What are the details to be filled in this form? Your name, your address, your occupation, and so on. They also make you put 2 or 3 specimen signature. What do you mean by specimen signature? Your signature as you would like to sign it in the check or in the pay-in slip and so on. Your signature differentiates you from all the other users of the bank. And every time you sign any bank document, this signature has to be matched. Can 2 people or 3 people open an account in the bank together? Yes, they can. What is it called in such a case? It's called a joint account. I also have a joint account with my mother and father. Even you could open one. Then, what about the form? How is it different? In this form, it will be jointly signed by all the members who are a part of the joint account. You should also give your passport size photograph so that your identification is matched. After that, you should self-attest a copy of Aadhaar card. What is the meaning of self-attestation? In the Xerox copy of your Aadhaar card, you must put your signature, the same signature that you put in the specimen signature. Next, you should give a reference. What do we mean by reference? Let's say you already know an account holder, you have a friend or you have a relative who has an account in the bank. They must give a reference introducing you to the bank. Next, the person who introduces you to the bank is also supposed to sign. Next, you have to submit the form after it's duly filled with all the required documents, that is address proof, PAN card, Aadhaar card, photographs, etc. Okay? The officer will verify whether you have submitted all the documents correctly and if you have filled the form correctly. If he is satisfied that everything matches the requirement, then you will successfully have your bank account opened. Once your bank account is opened, you have to make an initial deposit. It could be as minimum as 50 rupees. It could go to a very large number like 50,000 rupees as well. Then the bank issues you a passbook. What is passbook? It is a book in which all your transactions are recorded. A checkbook, you all know what is a checkbook. A pay slip, what is a pay slip? Let's say you want to go to the bank and withdraw money, that slip is called pay slip. All of these are given to you in case you are opening a savings bank account. If you open a term or a fixed deposit, a separate form has to be filled in. And what do they give you? They give you a fixed deposit receipt. Do they give you a checkbook in case of a fixed deposit account? No, they do not give you. In case of a current account, only a checkbook is issued. For a recurring deposit account, passbook and pay slip is issued. Again, no checkbook is issued. From exam point of view, you should learn for which account, what do they give you? Do they give you a checkbook, a pay slip book, a passbook or a receipt? Now let us learn the last topic of this chapter. What is the advantage of opening a bank account? I am sure you all already know, so I am just going to summarize it for you. Bank account facilitates or helps safe custody of money. It helps in making payments. It helps in collection of money. As a bank account holder, you get advances and loans whenever you need for different purposes. It also helps in smooth financial transactions. And as a bank account holder, you can also get a safe deposit locker facility. That's about it, students. The chapter comes to an end. There are a lot of question answers. We will do them together now. Please open your books and solve them with me. First question on page 159. Y'all will write with me. What is a bank? Banks are financial institutions. If you all know the answers, try memorizing with me. What are banks? They are financial institutions which use money deposited by customers as investments and agreed to return whenever they require in the form of checks, drafts or in some other form. Where is the word bank derived from? From the Italian word banco or from the French word banque. Both mean a bench or money exchange table. The words highlighted in red are very important. Next, what are the characteristics relating to bank transactions? First, dealing with money. 2, acceptance of deposits. If you remember, these are from the 11 points we discussed in characteristics of bank. 3, lending loan. 4, payment and withdrawal. 5, agency and utility service. 6, profit and service orientation. 7, it's a connecting link. Last, name identity. You must learn at least 6 if you're writing only the headings. Next, question 3. What are the functions of a bank? 1, accepting deposits from public and others. 2, lending money to public and others. If you notice, only one word is different. Accepting deposits from the public and others, and here it is lending. Remaining stays the same. A trick to remember or memorize for your examination. Third, transferring money from one place to another, also called as remittance. Collecting money by checks, drafts and bills. Discounting of bills. Providing facility of safe deposit lockers. Performing foreign exchange transactions. Performing government transactions. Issuing letters of credit and guarantee. Learn at least 4 of them perfectly well. Question 4. Explain the relationship between banker and its customers. How many of you remember? Quite a lot of you. Very good. Yes. General relationship. Under that, there is primary relationship, subsidiary relationship and agent and principal relationship. In the second category, there is special relationship where there are two obligations, obligations to honor the check and obligation to maintain secrecy. Question number 5. The number of saving bank account holders is increasing. Give reasons. Banks are a safe custody for depositing money. The banks also are helpful to meet future requirements. So, opening a savings bank account is very beneficial. Question number 6 on page 159. What are the advantages of opening a bank account? Question number 5 and question number 6. The answer is very similar in nature. Let's look at the answer. Bank accounts facilitate safe custody of money. Your money is going to be safe in bank. I want you all to also notice another point. At the opening of the answer, you repeat the same sentence of the question. They ask what are the advantages, so you'll put the heading. The advantages of opening the bank account are, and then you will write the answer point wise. All of this is very important, presentation of answer. So, bank account helps in making payments. 3. They help in collection of money. The bank account holders also get loans and advances. It also helps in smooth financial transactions, and they can also get a safe deposit locker. So, my lovely students, this brings us to the end of the chapter 1 in the section of business studies of banking transactions. Let's do a quick recap. What did we learn? We first learned what is a bank. We learned from which language is the word bank derived from. We learned the definition of bank transactions. Then we learned what are the various characteristics of a bank. After that, we learned functions of a bank. And then we learned about the two categories of relationships between a customer and a bank. And then we learned a little bit about what is a bank loan. And then we learned about the mother of all banks, the Reserve Bank of India. Then we went into learning details about how post office is also giving banking services. Then we learned the various types of banks in India. Then we learned types of bank accounts. Then we learned how we can go to the bank and open an account. Eventually, the last thing we learned was the advantages of having a bank account. So, even when you learn for your exam, when you see a question, you should know precisely from where it has come. Go to that part of the chapter, recollect the keywords and write them in your answer. Practice, practice, practice. Practice a lot on the app. I hope you all get lots of points through practicing. I will be monitoring y'all. If you have any doubts, please write to me. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.